And here it is 2 minutes later. Let's go on with it, shall we? So, in addition to paying a visit to the soon-to-disappear forever Toys R Us, I already went over that whole thing, I paid a visit to my favorite local nerd store, and that is Vulcan. Buy, sell, trade. They're located in just south of Everett, Washington. They're located just outside the Everett Mall area. Anyways, I found some more surprises. For a mere $45, plus, you know, tax and whatever, I picked myself up a Generation 2 Rapido. Rapido? I got one of these from one of my childhood friends, you know, back in the day, and I saw him open it up, and I'm like, damn, I want one of those things. Damn, this cost me a lot. But on the other hand, mint and sealed cards, so I'm now totally going to ruin that by opening it up. Oh, there's his face. Ah, hi, Rapido. Rapido? Bitech specs. Let's see, his strength is a 9, intelligence is a 10. He's an Autobot, of course he's smart. His speed is 10. His endurance is an 8. His rank is a 10. His courage is a 9. Of course it's a 9, why wouldn't it be? His firepower is a 9. Firepower? I thought they called it fire blast nowadays or something like that. Like they can't actually say weapon strength or whatever it is, they have to whatever. And his skill is an 8. He's a platoon commander. Quote, the deadliest weapon you can have is a sharp mind. And just in case you're wondering, he is an Autobot. Masterminds and executes battle plans of mind-boggling complexity. That remains to be seen. His brilliance at planning down to the last detail makes him one of the most respected Autobot platoon leaders. As a smooth, sleek vehicle, his rear-mounted engine is also a powerful weapon. Converts to a mighty fighting robot. It's a collector's card. It's supposed to talk about the personality and abilities, not what the toy is capable of doing. Hasbro, yo. Oh, look, it's Ramjet. As opposed to, I guess it would be Ramjet. I was going to say as opposed to, oh damn, what's his name? Skywarp. But then I realized that's probably not Skywarp. He's got the wrong wings and tails. Now, I did get Bumblebee. I got G2 Bumblebee, G2 Constructicons, Devastator is what I was going for, and G2 Optimus Prime. I have all of those in a box just over there. But, yeah, I get to add this guy to the collection. Yay. His head is... Alright. His head is green in the box art, and the card. On the toy, his head is silver. Whatever. Realistic styling and detailing. Considering the vehicle mode's completely made up. How do I do this? Okay. You know, they just don't make them like they used to. I should totally take a photograph of this. I don't care. Hey, well, God, you're ruining a classic. What are you doing? Ah! I don't get toys to store them in the box for future generations. I get them because I want them. Ha! Preserve the card. This, not so much. I've waited some 20 years for this opportunity. Suck it, Gareth. Now I've got one of my own. Oh, I think he's living in Texas, but that was like 5-6 years ago I heard about that. Anyways, it's just a cute little G2 former. Can you believe it, folks? I paid $45 for this. You doubt me? It is right there. 45 bucks. I'd known about this for a while while I was at Bulbacon, and I was like, yeah, I'll save it for another occasion. Maybe I should look at the instructions. What is this, a Super Sentai toy? Power Rangers? Shit, man. This guy can totally pull off a mech tech pose in his vehicle mode. Case in point, he's one of those kinds of figures you can do that. Anyways. So why the heck did you get Rapido? Other than, you know, jokes about his name, of which I don't know any off the top of my head. Well, aside from the fact that I've been wanting to get him for some 26 years. Oh my god. The joints are all nice and tight. You're kidding. Oh. Let's see. This guy had light piping before there was light piping. And it works! Huh. He's just barely peeking over the top of the hood. That's funny. So why Rapido? I don't know. I like the color scheme. I saw it when I was younger. I wanted it when I was younger. But it's G2, it's G1, it's monoleg, it doesn't... Yeah. These are a dime a dozen these days. Yeah, well, they're not exactly a dime a dozen these days. This might have been like $5 back in the day, or maybe it'd be $5 or even $7 nowadays. So it'd be like $3, $4 back in the day, whatever. But I just really wanted one. He almost has a Transformer Cybertron or Galaxy Force Optimus Prime had, except without the fold-out ears part. I don't get Legends class figures. I don't do it. No desire. The doors don't become wings. They don't become part of, you know, whatever it is. They just hang down off the side like shields. Although the box art would have you believe otherwise, that they're actually attached to the back of the shoulders and that his arms are completely different, completely separate entity. Nowadays they might actually be able to engineer that, but back in the early 90s, this is the best they could do. But I'm not going to complain, because I wanted one, I spent $45 on it, and fuck you, I've got one and you don't. Fresh from the box in 2017, no less. I mean, there's no sign that, like, the chrome is in perfect condition. It's not been sun bleached, you know, sitting wherever it was. It's in excellent condition. All the joints are nice and tight. I can't really say clicky because there's no ratchet, but yeah, G2 Rapido. Yay. Eh. Stickers. What? Hasbro 1992, all rights reserved. Huh. You know, I might just not apply them. Those decals are nice in condition. They haven't started peeling or anything. Where would they go? On the nose, on his stomach, top of these, and on the bumpers. He doesn't even... This guy doesn't need decals. He's fine the way he is. Maybe I should, like, sell them or something like that. Or maybe I should hang on to them in case I change my mind later. I have to give those stickers some thought. But for now, God, don't start peeling them now. They've survived for 20-something years. Don't lose them now. Oh, great. Now I've got that Thunderbirds theme going through my head. This one. This one. What can I say about this one? This one, I never anticipated that I would ever get to own one of these things. This is pale in comparison to this thing. So let's just put him off to the side for now. I don't know what to say. I was not, like, it wasn't even on my radar to get one of these. But given half a chance, and I was given half a chance, would I pick it up? Oh, sure. I'd be, for lack of a better word, I'd be honored to have one of these. And, much like Rapido, mint in sealed box. Well, no, I take it back. It's not sealed, but it is complete. This is secondhand because I got it from Vulcan. It was never at the top of my list. It was never one of my absolute favorites, because it's not. But wow, what an opportunity. I don't see why not. And it is right up my alley. It's old, but it still applies. And it still works. Keep those three things in mind. I still can't believe, not only did I find one of these things, but it was actually in a price range I could afford it. Oh my God. And it wasn't on eBay for an exorbitant, you know, 500, 600, 700. I even saw one of these up to $1,000. I'm like, you're not going to pay $1,000 for this? Okay, you'll totally pay $1,000 for this. But not only do I consider myself honored to be able to own one of these things, but I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, I still can't believe I found this thing. It's not a sealed box, but god damn it. Let me put it to you this way. This is part of the Godaikin line. Now, Godaikin is kind of it's a mishmash of two different Japanese words. There's the word dai, which means big or great, and gokin, which is like an alloy or a metal. If you've heard of chogokin, it's super metal or super alloy. And so Godaikin is kind of a big alloy. It's the goddamn Sun Vulcan robo. What even? I never would. And by the way, check out Bandai America, the Bandai America that I bitch and moan about in 2017 and beyond. Check out their original logo right there, or their previous logo, I should say. It was totally different. Anyways, the Godaikin line was limited. It only ran for about 2 or 3 years in the United States, and it was exclusive to the United States. It was not, Godaikin was not Super Sentai only robos. That's not what it was, although Super Sentai was included. It's actually a combination of, it's kind of, and I hate to use this reference, it's kind of a Robotech-ish mishmash of, we'll take a few robos from here, we'll take a robo from here, we'll take a vehicle and a robo from over here. So it's kind of a mishmash of a bunch of different robos from a bunch of different series. Now, unlike Robotech, there is no storyline to go with them because how the hell would you mishmash it? I don't think that was the intent. It was just, wow, this looks like an interesting toy. Let's release it in the United States under the Godaikin line and see what happens. So, yes, the Sun Vulcan robo. And do not aim toy at person when firing or ejecting missiles, projectiles, or fists. Oh, this is going to be good. Made with durable die-cast metal, this amazing robot can be transformed into a space-age spaceship and powerful bulldozer. No batteries required. Well, that's because it doesn't have electronics, so no batteries required. Why would you even put that there? Recommended for ages 12 years and older. I'd like to point out Super Sentai, even back in 1975 with Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, was aimed at like 4 to 6 year olds. So, recommended for ages 12 years and older. What 12-year-old would buy this one? Would buy this? Well, which 12-year-old? I'll tell you, this 12-year-old would buy it. They even come with the old carrying handle. Carrying handle, that's great. All the pieces up here. This package comes with one Sun Vulcan. They didn't call it the Sun Vulcan Robo. It's just Sun Vulcan. Whatever. Which when taken apart becomes Bull Vulcan and Cosmo Vulcan. It also comes with two Bull Chains, Volhand, Voltanfa, we'll get into that later, Sun Sword, Vol Shield, foot missiles, and 8 missiles. So they even use the original Japanese names in here. That's great. I'm not sure about foot missiles and missiles, but I'm not sure about those. They're just missiles, whatever. But Vol Shield, Sun Sword, it's actually called the Taiyo Ken, which is Sun Sword. Or whatever Taiyo means. I don't know. I'll have to research it. Voltanfa, T-A-N-F-A, that should actually be Tonfa, which is a completely different thing. Volhand. It's the claw. And Bull Chains. Bull Chains, that's great. You have all the accessories right there. Made with durable die-cast metal, this amazing robot can be transformed into a space-age spaceship. Again with the space-age spaceship. And powerful bulldozer. Do not insert objects other than missiles or projectiles provided into the firing mechanism. This toy is manufactured by Popey Company Limited. Product and color may vary from the picture shown. And then on this side, you see the transformation, which I can't see from this side and I haven't memorized yet. So I'm assuming the robot's up top, mid-stage there, and then somewhere down there is the separate vehicles. What an opportunity! What an opportunity! The box is a little beat up. I actually had a chance to preview this 3-4 weeks ago. I'll let you in on the secret now. I was at Bobacon a number of weeks ago, and I didn't buy anything that time, unfortunately. But I saw that they had this. And so I knew that they had it. And I was amazed. And the box had already been, it was already open because secondhand, And, let's see, how can I say this? I'm like, you've got a Sun Vulcan robot, can I look at it? And the guy said, sure. The carrying handle, such a lost art, along with die-cast metal. So I actually had a chance to handle this about a month ago. About a month ago. Could have been a little less. And I got to go through all of this. Oh my God, it's all mixed up. I got to go through all of these things, and I got to transform it. And like, yeah, it's all fully functional. It transforms, and yeah, it's old, but it still works. It's in excellent condition. The die-cast metal, and yes, there is die-cast metal, is not tarnished in any way. It doesn't look faded. Maybe the slightest of fading on the on either side of, what are they called? Bull Vulcan? Bull Vulcan. The white might be slightly faded, but considering this thing is 36 years old, to put that into perspective for you, This toy is just over 1 year older than me. That makes this the first toy that I've ever owned that came out before I did. I said that wrong, but I'll go with it. I'm not going to edit that shit. Who am I kidding? I don't edit anything. Unbelievable. Okay. How do we do this? Now, there's a shit ton of missiles in here. 2, 4, there's 6 missiles that go in the shoulders. There's, I suppose you could call these shin missiles, because they actually, the launchers are actually on the side of the shins, and they're meant to be used for the vehicle mode. But there's actually 4 of these. I don't think I'm even going to use them, just because it'd be so easy to lose them. So I might just keep a lot of these in storage. You can tell when you've got die-cast in your hands. You can always tell. In addition to being cold to the touch, it's heavy. It's got heft to it. There's a little diagram on the inside that shows you which direction to put the fist in, which one I will gladly follow. I should point out, I know absolutely nothing about Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan. Absolutely nothing.
Are you sure about that?
Look at this. You can tell the difference in generations of the Super Sentai robots. They actually go through the effort to flip over these little inner shin clips. Like nowadays, they don't care. They'll just leave it out there. They actually took the time and effort back in the days so that when it's in combined form, it's actually flush. I am aware that there are differences between the Sun Vulcan Robo and the Sun Vulcan over here. Even back in 1981, they were still, Bandai America was still futzing around with things to save a buck or two. I don't know the differences off the top of my head, and actually tried to do some research on it once I knew I had it. I don't think it's the accessories, because the one video on YouTube that I saw, he was also reviewing a Godaikin. So I can't tell the difference there, but as I understand it, there is a difference between this US release and the original Japanese release around the same time. I'll just get to it while I'm here. And here we have Bull Vulcan, which is a thing, I guess. I don't know. This is kind of from the glory days of Super Sentai, where it's just a super vehicle. It has no theme to it. It's just, fuck. Let's just stick some bulldozer things on it. Let's stick some crane things on it. Here, oh, by the way, here's a couple of missile launchers and some tractor treads, and it's not going to look anything at all like anything in reality, but who cares? It's a giant robot, so fuck you. Which just flies completely in the face of anything they make nowadays. Well, just about. It's just, I'll tell you, super vehicles are becoming a lost art. So, like super vehicles, we've got, I'll do that later, never mind. But yes. And there are wheels, there's actually die-cast wheels underneath each foot. So that also means it can roll in robot mode, which is nice. So it's not that these tractor treads don't support the weight. Indeed, they actually flip up very easily. But still, the fact that they put them there just... I have not checked if all the decals are intact. I haven't looked, or even if they were all applied. I don't know. And, you know, from what I can tell, it looks fine the way it is, so I'm not even going to bother. So we've got a pair of missile launchers here on the side, from which we stick these tiny ass things. And yes, it still shoots. Glorious. Now, for my own sanity, like as great as it is to have missile launchers, spring-powered missile launchers, by the way, I'm probably just going to put these back into storage because the likelihood that I'm going to accidentally brush up against a trigger is pretty darn high, so I'm just going to leave them in storage. But just be aware, one on this side, one on that side, boom, done. And then it also comes with no instructions. That's kind of an important thing. Or does it? I don't know. Ouch! Oh. Did a lot of walking yesterday. If it comes with the instructions, I'll be stunned. It does not. But it does come with a lot of flaky. I'm assuming it did come with instructions at some point, because some of these things are tricky to figure out. Like, how are you supposed to know those things pull out or that flips over? You don't know. Okay, what's next? Let's get to accessories. The other accessories here. Let's see. The original staples, by the way, the original staples were left intact, but they removed, or they put tape over it, you know, when they eventually sold it or whatever it is, so it's difficult to get in here again all of a sudden. And not only die-cast armor for the, or die-cast metal for the armor sections, but actual metal chains, not plastic. Eventually they just stopped designing the toys outright with any chains whatsoever. Alright, get in there. Oh god. Oh, what have I done? Shit. 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 What have I done? Shit. How do I get it out? Shit. Of course, this plastic is incredibly thin. I don't think I'm going to do that again. No. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. I don't trust myself. That one picture there is way too small for me. So anyways, the bowl Vulcan comes with not one, but ouch! A lot of walking yesterday. Lugging this thing around a note. Comes with two chains with very tiny plastic clips at the top. Are these articulated? No, they are not. So what you see is what you get. And, by the way, actual chains. Actual metal chains. Sweet. Nowadays, they'd probably be built in so that they can't attach. The thing you have to realize, though, is... No, I said I'd get to that later. So anyways, yes, there's those. I'm going to leave those in the container because, again, I don't trust myself. That's a disaster waiting to happen, and even by today's standards, this plastic is incredibly thin. Or at least what you want me to attach it to is incredibly thin, and I'm not going to play that game. Forget that noise. So that's the bowl Vulcan. And it rolls quite nicely. They don't seem to like going beyond 45 degrees. I wonder why. Yeah, so I guess they can only tilt out to 45 degrees. Either 45 out or 45 in. I am content with this. I'll leave those folded in for now. I wonder if those also became cannons that just so happen to have crane attachments on them. I don't know. I've never seen Sun Vulcan. The much heavier bit. And the transformation on this is quite easy. Now I've got the closing theme from Tenzo Sentai Go Siege going through my head. Oh no, that's the top of the vehicle. Okay. Derp. Neither half snaps together. Oh no! The English is real! The English lives! Demger. No. Demger. Demger Jet Brust. Or is it Surust? I can't tell if that's a B or an S. I'll go with Brust. So, Denger Jet Brust. And none of these panels are really, actually none of them, they don't snap together, so it's possible it's just the way they designed it, combined with just wear and tear on the joint over time, which is possible. And there we have Cosmo Vulcan, which is just a giant flying delta. Can't even call it a wing because, well, it doesn't have any wings except for kind of sort of this thing. This entire panel right here, including the tail, no, is that right? Yeah. This whole panel here is die-cast metal. And then it was painted white and red. And then a decal was placed on top of it. Does that do anything? No, it does not. Wait, is that also? No. The landing gear are also die-cast metal. It's not plastic, that's chromed. It's actually, although there is chrome plastic in here, chromed plastic in here. This does not. These wheels are not chrome. They are actual metal. And this section here, this panel under here, is also die-cast metal, which has been painted over. Oh, okay. I thought there was some multifunction in here. It's like, nope, not true, Ava. Ooh, rolls very smooth. Ooh, yikes. Stop rolling. Thank you. There's actually enough weight behind it that it'll roll all by itself. So we've got two double-ended missiles. In other words, it doesn't matter which direction you put it in, it still looks like a pill or something else. I'd appreciate it if you'd refrain from using adult-oriented comments on the matter. No details whatsoever other than the latching point. And those go in what you would think are air intakes. But silly rabbit, it uses fusion engines. It doesn't need an air intake for fuel. So you've got a pair of... Ooh, nice. And, oh, there it is. Almost. Pair of missile launchers right there. Which, by the way, those missile launchers end up on the top of the shoulders, so be careful not to press the red button right there. I think I might leave these two missiles. Those should be safe. I'm totally going to end up eating my words later on, but I think I'll leave those two for now. I think I can trust myself with those just enough because they're big enough you can actually see where they land. Alright, let's get to combining. I've avoided bringing it up until now, but the Sun Vulcan Robo has its distinction in Super Sentai as being the very first ever combining Super Sentai Robo. Previous to this, we had the Daidinjin and the Battle Fever Robo. The Daidinjin was the first Super Sentai Robo to transform, because the Battle Fever Robo didn't transform at all. But the Sun Vulcan Robo is the first Super Sentai Robo, combining Robo, that had multiple components involved in its transformation. It was the first one to ever do so. Just take these panels, I'll flip it over, and they clip into place. Shrink down the nose. And then snaps into place. And then to release them, there's a little button on the bottom side here. You hold it down, and then you can unlatch them. Although if it's old enough and loose enough, you could probably just pop it open by yourself. But you can see here, here, and here are where the... actually, no, you can't because you're too far away. Here and here are where the clips. Like that. And then turn it around. Each me, son, Vulcan. I see what you did there, Bandai. Was Plex designing these back in the day? I don't know. Go ahead and these, by the way, the bucket scoop thingies. These are actually chrome metal. They're not. Or, I'm sorry, they're chromed plastic. They are not metal. As far as I can tell, the only metal on this whole thing is this blue piece, which wraps around here. I think that's the only one. And by the way, these ratchet in the 3 positions they've got. Anyways, let's see, do you push? Yes, you push. And flip this around. Snaps into place. You push forward, that flips around, and then you just fold that in just like that. Which then gets covered up partially by the armor when it shifts inward. Push those together and then push it upwards into this upper section here. Push these together and hold them together as you slide the assembly upwards. And then put the 2 halves together. I'm guessing because of the age, these are not going to snap together. Yeah, I think it's old enough at this point that I don't think they're going to snap together, which is fine. Which is fine, whatever. Huh. Okay, so there is one detail. Like I said, I did a little bit of research. It looks like on the Godaikin release, these 2 silver panels, where I suppose they are knee guards, these 2 panels here should have yellow in there, because I want to say that's where the cockpit for, oh, I'm going to get this wrong, Vol Shark and Vol Panther, which are the 2 Rangers, their cockpits are located right there in the knees. They're not, I don't think they're down here anywhere. I don't think they're on the top. I think that's where the cockpits are. I'm guessing. But in any event, unless there was no decal provided in the original Japanese version, I'm guessing the yellow that's missing here is something that was missing for all of the Godaikin Sun Vulcans, and not just for the Sun Vulcan Robo back in '81. And despite the sliding motion here, you just pull these apart, and then you, it's so nostalgic, you flip up, or charming, I guess, you fold away those 2 panels, or those 2 clips. So they will never fit together again unless you fold them out. Oh, yes. Oh god, my fingernails. Ah! Well, this will be the only time I stick these in here. I think that's okay. Okay, here comes the big moment. Gatai! This thing is loaded up with no less than 3 missile launchers, if you include Rocket Punch. 3 missile launchers on one toy. No, 6 missile launchers on one toy. And each one on a different component. The crap. And here we have the one, the only, the original, the only of its series, the Sun Vulcan Robo. Or the Sun Vulcan. Heavy. Heavy. I don't remember if the Sun Vulcan Robo received the Chogokin labeling. I don't even know if they were doing that at the time. There were many later Super Sentai Robos that had die-cast metal in them. Yes, they were called, they were part of the Chogokin lineup, which included more than just Super Sentai Robos. Huh. Yeah, there's some, it's interesting, there's some slight kibble on the back here. It's just some random fins and stuff. But beyond that, dude, even back in '81, they were taking care of shit. Taking care of shit. Let's see, does it ratchet or is it just age? Okay, they do ratchet every 45 degrees. This one, not so much. I think it's just the spring. Over time, just... Yeah. All the way around. Yes, it does. It does indeed go all the way around. Yay. Wow, I almost set off the Rocket Punch in my face. That would have been entertaining. How does Rocket Punch do? Not bad. Not bad. It's aged. That is not bad at all. Whoa. Okay. Oops. Sorry. I screwed that up. That was my bad. One more time. Oh, that's so satisfying. I'm not a big fan of Rocket Punch, but I will acknowledge it when it happens. Gypsy Danger doesn't count, by the way. That was not Rocket Punch. That was a rocket-assisted punch. There's a difference. Of course, the tradition goes all the way back to 1981. The only articulation is in the arms. There's none in the head. What's the head made out of? The head is made out of ABS only. That was PVC for a moment there. I almost want to say there's, like, this was, Sun Vulcan was also the first year, or the first time ever, where they introduced an animal theme. You wouldn't know it by looking at the Sun Vulcan Robo or any other weapons, but there was Vol Eagle, there's Vol Shark, and then there's Vol Panther. You know, I take it back. I thought that Geki Jaguar was the first of its kind in Super Sentai. I was totally wrong. It turns out that Vol Panther beat him by decades. Fair enough. You know, it's easy to miss. Anyway, Sun Vulcan was the first series to have an animal theme, but it's only on the costumes, and it's only in their. It was also the first series to have a wrist-mounted hinging device. So you could be forgiven for missing. I could be forgiven for missing some of those details. I don't know a lot about pre-Power Rangers Super Sentai Robos. Now, that's not to say I don't have other This is actually the second time I've had a pre-Super Sentai Robo, because I actually have a, gosh, how many modern Super Sentai Robos do that? I want to say kind of the, let me think. Because the O-Ranger Robo had wheels on the bottom. Let's see. It would not have been Grand Titan. Is that right? No, what was that called? Grand Liner. I'm sorry, Grand Liner. My bad. It would not have been Grand Liner. Wheels on the bottom of the feet. They're usually pretty good about that nowadays, that they don't slip around all over the place. I mean, even the Turbo Robo, which I was just about to say, I also have a Turbo Robo, which is in pretty bad condition, and a Turbo Rugger, which is in equally bad condition. The Turbo Robo had rubber wheels on the bottom because it was the first time they did a car-themed mecha series. But the Turbo Robo came with kind of little platforms you could put under the feet so that it wouldn't roll around. If you took the platforms off, platform shoes, it would actually roll around just like this. But the Turbo Robo, you know, had those little sandals that you could click underneath, and then that was the end of it. So, but the Turbo Robo only happened a few years after this. I would say about 6-7 years after this. But I'm talking after O-Ranger. Did they have wheels on the bottom of the feet? Oh, Ginga Rhinos, or whatever it is, which is the Centaurus Megazord. No. Is it Yeah, it was the Centaurus Megazord. That had wheels on it, and that was after O-Ranger. Couldn't have been many. They kind of moved away from it after a while. I think it was just a case of the kids are complaining they're sliding around too easily. You know what, those kids either need to grow up a bit, or their parents need to be responsible and not get it for the kids until they realize that there are wheels on the bottom and they can roll it around, and they shouldn't complain about it. Progress? I don't know. Speaking of progress, my feet are really hurting for this video. Okay, accessories for robot mode. Again, the chain is made of metal. This is the it says Vul hand, V-U-L hand, but I'm fairly certain that's not what it was called in Japan, so I don't know what it's called. Anyways, there's a horseshoe clip, and you just, oh god, that's tight, oh shit. You just fit it on there, and he's got a claw grabby thing. Yay. Boy, that tolerance is really tight. I'm surprised it survived this long. Should have made that a PVC. It would have flipped on and up. Maybe they didn't have PVC at that time. Or if PVC was available in Japanese toy design, maybe it didn't occur to them. Like, kind of a soft plastic was all that they came up with. Or you would use rubber, or, you know, you'd make a groove for it. Maybe PVC wasn't even a factor at the time. I don't know. It's not like I was around to ask that question back in '81. For the longest time, I could not figure out what the hell that thing is. And why is it so flimsy? Okay, now I can complain about it. Now I can complain about it. Did they honestly expect that thing to... I don't know. But this is actually the Vol-Tonfa. You hear me talk about the Geki Tonfa? It's the same thing. It's just, it has a blade on the end, or it's, you know, it's kind of pointed. Dude, this is some Warhammer 40,000 Battlefleet Gothica shit right here. If you look at it from this angle, here's a control tower, and there's some wings, and you can just imagine battlements along the side, and then you've got the prow here. I'm not going to call it the Cygnus from the Black Hole, because it's very much not. But that being said, yeah, that's one way to think of it. So anyways, technically it should be a tonfa that you fit underneath like this. Although what would I know about using a tonfa, considering I've never used one before. But that being said, it falls out. It doesn't even. It's incredibly loose. I don't know why they designed it this way. maybe you take the fist off, or maybe you take the forearm off, and no. It's so strange. Maybe it's ow, dumbass. Maybe it's supposed to be loose like this. I don't know. Like maybe they twirl it around in the hand somehow when they're using it in combat or something. I don't know. We have the okay. We have the handle that pops very easily out. Well, it fits with some friction. They have the Vol shield, which in the show was actually silver. So I guess they didn't want to chrome it or make it out of silver, or make it out of gray plastic or something. I don't know. Oh no. I was about to say, wait a minute, there's no gray plastic on it, and then I looked at the back and I'm like, oh, there's the gray plastic right there. So I don't know why it is they didn't make it out of plastic, or out of gray plastic, or even make it out of chrome. But again, the dilemma presents itself. Why is this so loose? There's no friction to speak of, and that's not an age thing. That's just simply the way they designed it. It has no friction. There's lots of space in there, which is very strange. I don't know. An unusual weapon to have on a Super Sentai Robo. A tonfa? That's incredibly rare. Usually it's a baton. But a tonfa? Well, they're the same thing, but I don't know. It's strange. I'm not complaining, other than the fact that these are incredibly loose. But that being said, it is a peculiar weapon to attach, or at least it's something you haven't seen since. On the other hand, earlier Super Sentai Robos, like the Sun Vulcan Robo, were incredibly accessory heavy. Incredibly. They really like to pile their weapons on. Even the Daijin, the Sun Vulcan, the Battle Fever Robo. Oh my gosh, it has brass knuckles. I think they're called knuckle dusters or something like that. It's got brass knuckles. It's got two shin-mounted short swords of some kind. They're thick, so I don't know what swords or whatever. And then it has an actual sword, and then it has a staff. Or no, it's not a staff. It has a spear. And then it has rocket punch. And then there's some sort of, and then the cockpit, by the way, is located in the belly. And then I think the Sun Vulcan Robo also, there it is again. I think the Battle Fever Robo might have had some sort of ranged weapon, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Daijin, and now, of course, all these accessories, including the most iconic of them, says Sun Vulcan across the grip. I don't know what that says there. I don't know. But ooh, that felt sexy. That felt sexy. But the thing about the earlier Super Sentai Robos compared to today, or even to the 90s, okay, Super Sentai Robos, not only was there just one Robo, and that's it. The Sun Vulcan, there was no secondary Robo. Like, what you see here is all that there was for giant Robos. That was it. The earlier Super Sentai Robos had the carrier mecha. They had the flying fortresses. In the case of the Sun Vulcan Robo, you had the... Was it Jaguar Vulcan, I think, is what it was called, something like that. The Jaguar Vulcan is, if you can imagine Gigabytus, the Zenith Carrier Zord from Lost Galaxy. The Cosmos Vulcan is basically the predecessor to that, is the grandfather, is the great-grandfather to that. Well, it wouldn't be the great-father, it'd probably be the father of that design. It has a big old shark mouth on the inside. And there were big old swords on the inside. So, the Battle Fever Robo, Daijin... Wait, did Daijin have a carrier? I don't remember now. The Sun Vulcan Robo had all these accessories stored inside their carrier mecha. Fair enough. So that's why they can afford to have so many of them. Now, the spares, on the other hand, no, you just had to keep those in the box or stick it in a baggie somewhere. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I should stick these in a baggie. Maybe I'll do that later. Just stick those in a baggie, preserve them. Ava, you're always complaining about oversimplified transformations in Super Sentai Robos. But you just did this one without the instructions. Well, first of all, I previewed it, and second, you kind of know, as a transformationist, you kind of know where things are located. And, like, there's more than what's going on here. And oh, by the way, all you have to do is look at the box and you can see, okay, there's something that's moving here. So you start looking for, oh, okay, there's a switch right there. Oh, there's a lever right there. Oh, there's a button right there. Okay. Or maybe there's a panel of some kind you gotta flip around, something like that. I can transform this because I've researched it. I can transform it because I've seen the clips on YouTube. I can transform it because it's intuitive for me. But little kids are not going to do that. And that's why you got, that's why you ended up with the cube animals. You know, that's where I start complaining. Well, Ava, this is so simple to transform. At least it actually transforms. At least it looks different from one form to the next. You know. But that's not what this video is about. I'm not going to go there, and I've already made that complaint pretty well known at this point. Wow. What a treat. This is so cool. I love it. Oh, and also wrap it up. And the Thunderbirds from the 1960s. These are updated versions of a 1960s design, so they count. Wow, look what I did yesterday. But this is just wow, just I'm so privileged to be able to own this and to have it in such excellent condition. There's a little bit of scuffing along the chain. The shoulder joints are not what they used to be. I don't know for certain whether the sliding panels here, are they supposed to lock? Or are they supposed to snap into this position or not? I don't know, so I'm not going to comment. Gush. That's all I can say. Just, oh, wow. What a privilege. What a privilege. And I'm incredibly lucky to find one of these things. Make no mistake, I got this for a very good deal, considering the age and the age of this thing and the condition that it's in. Yeah, absolutely. I consider myself very lucky. There's just wow. And again, it was not a high priority for me, but it looked decent enough. I respected the Sun Vulcan Robo. I never imagined I'd get one, but I was like, yeah, that's a good design. I can appreciate that. And now I have one. I've said that, I think I've said it a couple of times now. But I can't stop gushing over the fact that I have the opportunity to own a the grandfather of all the Robos that are in my collection. This is the oldest design I've got. Like, even the SDF-1 Macross and the Valkyries, those are younger than this, because those came out in, well, actually I think they might have come out around the same time, now that I think about it. Macross was what, 81, 82, thereabouts? So it was about the same age. But arguably this is the oldest piece of my entire collection. I mean, it outdates even my Transformers G1 reissue Fortress Maximus. It outdates that. Can't think of anything else that's older. The Turbo Robo and the Turbo Rugger, those are from 86, 87-ish, something like that. I don't keep close track of Turbo Robo. So this is the oldest piece of my collection, and it will be a very honored and respected member of my collection. No doubts, no question about that. What a treat. Ah. Alright, I'm going to turn off the camera before I start wasting more time. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in.